All right, guys, here we go. Ethan. Some of us yesterday still did not. I worked with you guys one-on-one on this, and some of us, I had to hold your hand and walk across the street on, and that's fine. But eventually, guys, you got to take the responsibility upon yourself to say, hey, I got to learn this myself. I got to sit down and do this myself. And, that group that I had yesterday, I gave one problem for you guys for homework. We did 8 of them together, and I gave you one problem, and half of you who turned it into me only wrote the answer down, did not give me any work. All right, so again, we've had this discussion before that, your education is on you. You can't sit there and say that I don't know what I'm doing because I don't learn it or I'm not being taught it, because you are. It's just that you're not trying to listen. You're not even trying. So this is a repeat of yesterday, which is exactly the same, except it's one less number. So it's going to be a little easier today, I think. All right, Colton? Got it? Good. So the strategy again today, lesson 3. What strategies can I use to divide by a 2-digit divisor, all right? So the yearbook committee, Ray, the yearbook committee took 836 photos with a digital camera over 76 days. My guess is I'm going to take this big number and I'm going to divide it up by the little number. So everybody write 836 right here and 76 right there. Now, they're talking about estimating. And the reason why they do the estimation down here is they want to see whenever you're done, instead of checking your work, like you all mumble and grumble whenever I make you do it, if you estimate, it will show you if your answer is reasonable. And the reason why I say that is, like today on your guys' morning work, let's say you had 36 divided by 6, and you wrote down that the answer was 532. Well, it would lead me to believe that you didn't check to see if it was reasonable, because if you did the answer, you'd see that the answer is 6. 36 divided by 6 is 6. So that's nowhere near this. So then once you look at that answer, you can be like, oh, I'm a little off. So what they've done here is they've rounded first. We round first. We round this to 800 like they've done here. And then we round this 76 right here to 80. Whoever's playing with their binders or slapping their pages, whatever, it needs to stop. All right, so then we change that to 80. So how many times does 8 go inside of 8? One time. Well, we cross out a 0 here. Do we have to cross a 0 out over here? How many zeros are left? So we have 10, right? So 10 is, we're going to try to come up with an answer that's pretty close to 10. It doesn't have to actually be there, but it's got to be close to it. So now we're going to actually do our division like we did yesterday. We have it written out like this. We got it with the long bar there. How many times does 76 go into 8? Not at all. How many times does 76 go into 83? So you put the 1 right there like they have the little box for you. Hopefully you're filling this in, because it's only going to help you later. If you're not, then that's your problem. So we have this step here. Remember, we have divide. We have multiply. What's the next one? Subtract. Bring down and repeat. So now we did the divide. Now we're doing the multiply. Now, a couple of you, when I was working with you, this is the part where you're like, well, do I put the 1 here? No, you put it up here, and you multiply this by this. Every time you multiply this top number by that number. So what is 1 times 76? 76. And now next step is we subtract. So we mark this down to a 7, puts that over there, makes that a 13. Mikey said 13 minus 6 is 7. Now, we brought down our 6. That's our bring down. And since we bring down, we repeat the process over again. So how many times will 76 fit inside of 76, Emma? So you put the 1 right here up top. And then our next step, Aiden, is we multiply. We say 1 times 76 is what? 76. Thank you, Aiden, who's talking way across the room. And what is 76 minus 76? 0 again, Aiden. Thank you. Aiden, you did a good job on that, bud. I didn't even hear you speak. All right, so our answer. So our answer is 11. So 836 divided by 76 is 11. So P, which they said up here, equals P. P equals 11. They'll take 11 photos each day. Now that 10 that we had up here, this reasonableness right here, is 10 pretty close to 11? So we know that we're probably right because it's pretty close to it, all right? Turn the page. Yeah.
Quarter less, let it rest, 5 more, raise the score.
Yep.
You should write that on the board.
30 into 751 is
All right, so let's do some rounding here. I'm going to use compatible numbers for this one, honestly. That's what they've done. They said, well, 751 is pretty close to 750. We leave 30 the same. How many times will 3 fit inside of 75? Think money. Think little coins that you like to put in Coke. How many 3s can you fit into 75? No. 3, because 3 quarters equals 75, right? So 3 goes into 75 25 times. That's a quarter, right? 25. How many zeros are left? 0. We marked them both out. So our answer has to be close to 25. So we're going to put this down here. 25 is close to something. We want to be close to it. So now, yeah, there's going to be remainders it shows here. So we have 751 divided by 30. How many times does 30 fit inside of 7?
0.
How many times does 30 fit in 75? How many of you agree it's twice? Mikey said. You're right, twice. You put the 2 here. Mikey, let somebody else answer. All right, my next step is, again, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and then repeat if you bring down. So next step is multiply. What's 2 times 30? 60. Somebody else now, what do? You subtract. Ethan? Okay, so what do you get? 15. Somebody else tell me what's my next step now that they've already done for me. Colton? Bring down the 1. And now I brought down, so I repeat again. I say 30 goes inside of 151. Again, you got to kind of think in your head. 30 times 2 is 60. 30 times 3 is 90. Ireland? She says 5. Let's try it. What is 5 times 30? 150. And then we subtract, we get 1. Do we have anything to bring down? So once we're stuck here, we're stuck there. We have a remainder of 1. So 751 divided by 30 is 25, remainder 1. Is that pretty close to 25? So we know that we're right because it's pretty close, right? It's pretty close. I know. I'm gonna do these right here. Shh. I'm gonna do these 3 right here with you, and then I'm gonna have you guys do this rest because we have done now, I believe we almost did 10 yesterday. We've almost done 15 problems repetitively, and I still got some of us who aren't even paying attention to what we're doing, and they're gonna be asking me how you do this. So, all right, so 809. So you got to put this right here over like that. That's where some of you guys get lost. Colton. Maybe what I should do in my videos is I should flip this around in my videos and then let your parents watch you work.
Oh my God.
And say hi, Mom. You might want to look in the camera, not the smart board, but I mean, because they only hear you not paying attention, but they can't see you not paying attention. So whenever you guys go home and say, I don't understand this, Mr. Young didn't teach me, I can be like, watch the video. Watch the little Johnny over there doing nothing. All right? We don't have a Johnny in here, I don't think. I'm sorry. She's not here.
Oh.
I forgot to tell you. I'm sorry.
I just now saw that.
Yeah.
That's how behind I am.
All right. All right. So let's do this. I just made somebody dizzy in that video now if they do watch this. So how many times does 62 go into 8? It doesn't. How many times 62 go into 80? Once. What is 62 times 1? Subtract them. Can I do 0 minus 2? I got to borrow. Makes this a 7. Makes this a 10. What's 10 minus 2? He already said 18 for me. Colton Johnson. Give him some credit. And then he says you got to bring down your 9. So he's all over it. Now 62 goes into 89 how many times? Holly? She says 3. I'm going to believe her because she's pretty good at this. So then over here, you're going to have to say, well, 62 times 3 equals, this is 6. That's 186. See how I had to do a little multiplication on the side there? Subtract that. I'm going to get what? 3. Do I have anything to bring down? Do I have anything to bring down?
No.
Thank you. So no, that is not correct. So I have 13, remainder of 3. Okay, go ahead, Raymond.
So 82 2 times.
Well, 92, but yeah.
2 times 84.
All right.
And then
84.
92 or 92 minus 84 equals 8.
Okay.
And down to 5. And then 42 goes from 85 2 times 10, that equals 84. And 96. Subtract it, gives you 1.
So we have 22 what? See, guys, look how small I'm writing. I know I'm old and I can't see, and I'm still writing small.
I feel confident with the next one.
I mean, some of you, bless your hearts, but you guys write like 837 divided by, and then you got this whole page filled up. Write small, guys. You gotta learn to write a little smaller. All
I
right.
feel confident in this one.
All right. So Colton Grubbs, Mr. Grubworm, says that he feels confident in this. So we're gonna let him. And if he gets this, we don't have to do. We're gonna do our homework. We're not gonna. You don't have to listen to me anymore. All right. So Colton, go ahead. He's confident. Go ahead.
15 will go into 21 one time.
Yes, sir. Shh. Let him work.
The try down and you get 6.
All right. So I know what you're doing there. Okay. Now what?
You break down that 0.
Okay.
Ooh. I forgot how long.
I'm gonna give you a hint. How many times is 15 going to 60?
4.
Oh, 4. He did that all on his own. No one saw that. 4. And what's 15 times 4? 60, he said. Colton, you subtract those, what do you get?
0.
Do I have anything to bring down?
No.
So my answer is what?
14.
Mr. Grubworm just saved them from having to listen to Mr. Young anymore.
Thank you.
Mr. Grubbs. All right. Now, get your homework.